Hey friends, hey family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal Blue. I do Christian content. I also do what's called the Word of the Day. I also have videos and shorts of me and my family having fun together. I also have inspirational shorts and quotes, and I have running and workout fitness shorts. So if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to like and subscribe, but most of all, do not forget to share. For those of you returning, happy Monday. Hope everybody had a blessed weekend. I know I did. It was quite nice. This is actually my first full week back to work. I feel like the whole month of May, I took so many days off because there were so many things happening with graduation for the nanny, graduation for my kid, dentist appointments. I feel like I only probably worked 2 weeks in the month of May, which is wild. I feel like I literally took the whole month of May off. So now that it's June, first full week back to work. I will be taking a few days off this month, but not as many as I took last month. So expect to see me more this month than you saw me last month, which is a good thing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the word. Today we're going to be reading from the book of James, and it's James 1, verses 26 through 27. And it says, "Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." Now, that's pretty heavy what James is saying here. Um, but if you look in today's society, it it's true. There are people who sit there and claim to be Christians, to say they worship him, say they go to church, and they say they're so religious, but their hearts are really, really far away from God. Um, and they're towing the line, you know. And I said this probably back last year, sometime of the year before. It's black and white. There is no gray. You cannot toe the line. You can't say that you are a Christian and then live in the world. You can't do it, you know. You're either all in as a Christian or you're all in the world. You can't toe the line. And it's hard. It's super hard because there's so many influences from the outside. Even for me, you know, as a Christian, it's hard to toe the it's hard, you know, because you want to sit there and you want to still do those things that you love in the world, but then you have to remember who you are living for now, you know, and you have to learn how to deny your flesh certain things. So it's tough. But what James is saying here, he's saying a lot of people are sitting here spouting all this religious stuff, but they're deceiving themselves, really, because they're not practicing what they preach. They're saying XYZ and doing ABC. And I think that just rings true for just human beings in general. A lot of people, they say and claim, but they're living a completely different life as opposed to the walk with Christ that they're supposed to be doing. And then he states in verse 27, it says, "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is to look after orphans and widows in their distress and keep oneself polluted from the world." That is one thing that the Lord asks of us, that we are to look after the widows and the orphans. And he says this in several books beforehand. I don't remember which ones exactly, but it is mentioned before, to look after the widows and the orphans because they cannot advocate for themselves. And also, lastly, keep yourself from being polluted from the world. And that was what I was mentioning earlier. It's tough. It's totally tough to do that. Being a Christian is not easy. I've said it time and time again. This walk is not easy. The path is super narrow. And we have to try to do our best to keep ourselves from being polluted from things of the world. But again, it's so easy, especially in today's age with social media and everything and all the stuff on the news. It's easy to get off track. And I can say personally for myself, you know, I've gotten off track several times. But when you feel that tug in your spirit and in your heart and you know something's not right, you're like, this is off. This doesn't quite seem right. That's when you need to take it to the Lord and go pray about it. I'll be honest, 1,000%. I had fallen off with doing my devotions. I'd been oversleeping, not waking up in time, forgetting to do my devotions because it's summer. I get lazy and I have to just get discipline back in my system, you know, because I've slacked. The month of May was a slack month for me and I fell off with a bunch of things. And so yesterday when I was doing my devotion, I was like, Lord, I know I have completely fallen off and I need to get back on it, you know, and that's what God wants you to do. He wants you to come to him and say when you need help, when you need to get back on track, you know, because he knows that it's tough. That's why his grace and mercy are sufficient. He knows that we struggle with the world and trying to live as Christians. But all he does ask us to do is to look after the orphans and the widows and try to keep ourselves away from things that we know are not godly like. So if we can remember to do these things and keep coming to him and keep having that relationship with him and keep talking to him, don't let the enemy tell you just because you fall off one time that you're doomed and God's going to hate you and never love you again. That is not true. When we do fall off, he says, come to me. That's when you need to come talk to me to get back on track. But the enemy has a way of getting on our ear and saying, oh, you screwed up, you fell off track. Just go ahead and just throw it up, just throw in the towel. Don't believe that. If you feel like you've gotten off course, just pray about it and God will get you back on track. Tell him to fill your heart with that love and that joy again that you used to have that may have faded away. So, again, there's a lot to these two verses. It's about doing what he asks us to do and try to stay out of the world. And also to those people that are out there saying one thing and doing another, I just have to pray for people like that because there are a lot of people out there that say one thing and do another. And my thing is, if you're going to sit there and preach the gospel, like I always say, walk the walk and talk the talk. Simple as that. All right. Again, this was from James 1, verses 26 through 27. You know what I like to say? Don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. I hope this blessed you and encouraged you. And Lord willing, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.